In this video, we're going to be looking at the endocrine system. And the endocrine system is, let's have a look at this little explanation, all the glands and organs that make hormones and release them directly into the blood so that they can travel to tissues and organs all over the body. So let's have a look what kinds of glands and organs there are in your body that make these hormones, which are chemicals, releasing them directly into the blood so they can zoom all the way around your body and have their effect. Here is our body. There's a few of our major glands highlighted here. Let's start up in the head. We've got the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Both of these are parts of the brain and they're very small. They're about the size of a pea, each of them, and they release different hormones. Pineal gland is responsible for releasing melatonin. You might have heard of that in relation to sleep patterns. And the pituitary gland releases growth hormones. So you can see that a problem with the pineal gland might mean that you have disrupted sleep patterns and you might have to take tablets with the hormone melatonin in them to help balance out your sleep patterns. Or perhaps if you're missing essential hormones from your pituitary gland, you might have issues with growth and development. The pituitary gland actually makes lots of hormones. It's called the master gland, and it releases hormones that tell other organs in the body to release their hormones. So you might have heard about that with reproduction, for example. Number 3 is the thyroid gland. Number 4 is the thymus gland. Thyroid gland releases a hormone called thyroxine. This is a really important metabolic hormone, so it speeds up your metabolism. And if you have too much of it, your metabolism can be a little bit overactive. And if you have too little of it, then it can be a bit sluggish and a bit slow. And you might have to take some thyroxine tablets to help build up your metabolism to a faster rate. The thymus, so that's metabolism. Your thymus gland is really important because it produces hormones and cells for the immune system. And right now, as teenagers, you guys have your thymus gland at the largest size that it's going to be in the whole of your life. It's busy making all the T cells that are part of your immune system, and it will slowly decrease in size now from sort of your age until you're older, just getting replaced by sort of fat cells in that space once it's done its job. Let's move down to number 5, which is just above the kidneys, so it's called the adrenal gland, and right next door to it is an organ called the pancreas. Now, the adrenal gland produces adrenaline, and you'll have heard of adrenaline. It's the hormone that gets released when you have a shock or when you're in a stressful situation and you suddenly your heart races and your breathing increases and your pupils widen so you can take in as much information as possible. And the adrenal gland also releases cortisol, that is a stress hormone, and any deficiencies in these hormones can affect your metabolism and your ability to react to stimuli. Your pancreas also releases 2 hormones, insulin, which you probably have heard of, and glucagon. And these are like flip sides of a coin. Insulin brings your blood sugar down and stores sugar, whereas glucagon does the opposite, and it releases stored carbohydrates into your bloodstream when you need sugar to do things, if it's been a long time since your last meal. And if you're having troubles with your insulin levels, then you will end up with diabetes. These last 2 you've met fairly recently. We've got the ovaries over here, and the testes, or just one testis on this side. Now your ovary is responsible for releasing estrogen and progesterone, which are reproductive hormones that regulate the menstrual cycle and keep your uterus lining nice and thick, just in case there's been a fertilization event. And your testis releases testosterone, which controls the production of sperm and also any secondary sexual characteristics that develop as boys become men during puberty. So this is just a snapshot of some of the glands in your body that release hormones into the blood. Some of them are really easy to spot because they have the word gland after their name. But you have to be a little bit careful because there are glands that make chemicals that don't go into your blood. So, for example, the sweat glands. So they are not part of the endocrine system. And also mammary glands, they make milk, but milk doesn't go into the blood, so they're not part of the endocrine system. So we're just looking here for organs and glands that make hormones that go directly into the blood.